Okay, Lorena, you can play the video. That's me right there. That's me, and I'm working on my patient. Hubble Space Telescope is my patient. The sun and mountains streaking through the sky set down upon Australia. Night comes down to earth below. All too soon, the serene silent fall through the night has moved the sun to the eastern horizon. Sunrise, another day, another journey began. The earth beckons, and I follow. Thank you very much, Lorena. Well, I'm fantastically glad to be here. Glad to be sharing community with you kids, medical students. Thank you, Lorena. I want to thank so much Kaplan Educational Systems. Manuel, where's Manuel Carrillo? Thank you, sir, for bringing me here to Monterey and for giving me this privilege. Thank you for all you do. And thank Ignacio Santos Medical School for helping bring me here as well. So I'm going to tell you a story. My name is Story Musgrave, so I have to tell you a story. But maybe kids, maybe it's the first lesson I have for you, and that is to think of your personal lives as a story. What's the story of your life? What's it been in the past? And you're writing the story of your future. Where do you go from here? So it's the way humans work, it's the way human knowledge works, it's the way we understand the world. For as long as we've been humans, and we've been telling a story. So the story I have for you today is my 36 years with the Hubble Space Telescope. They told me way back in 1975 for me to look after that thing, to identify whatever might go wrong with it, and be able to fix it during a spacewalk. So I set out designing the telescope, creating the telescope, in terms of how you work on it, how you look after all the kinds of problems that it might have. I started that in 1975. So I worked on the telescope for about 18 years before I was the lead mechanic to go and fix it. The lead doctor, if you will. So the telescope is my patient. But I was a lead mechanic in spacewalks to go and fix that machine. So that's a story that I have to tell you, but I'm going to extract what I learned along the way. I'm going to extract what I've learned with 75 years of living and my 59 years in the aerospace world that you all can apply to the life that you have. What did I learn along the way for people that are studying medicine, nurses, doctors, technicians? What did I learn all the way that you can take with you? So I'm concerned. I want to give you something. It's the take-home. What are you going to take out of here when you leave today? You know, it's the take-home. That's what I want to give you. I want to give you some pearls of wisdom, some pearls of life, extracted from my own medical career as a trauma surgeon, my own 59 years in the aerospace world. So, it is lessons learned my 36 years caring for the Hubble Space Telescope as my patient. Now, why did I get the job? How come Story Musgrave got the job to look after this telescope? Why? Because I'm a farm kid. Born and raised on a farm, right? At the age of 5, I started riding the machinery. I saw kids always ask me, they said, "Do you always want to be an astronaut?" I have to remind them, in the 1930s, there were no astronauts. So I did not want to be an astronaut in the 30s, the 40s, or in the 50s. But We got the balers, they bale hay back on the farm. They bale hay, but the machines couldn't tie the knots. You know, to tie the knots. Twine around the bale, got to tie the knots. The hay would come out the back of the baler and collapse because the machine could not tie the knots. So on the farm, they're quite creative. They took my swing off of the tree and they put it on the machine where the knots are supposed to be tied. If the machine did not tie the knots, I had needle nose pliers, almost like forceps, that side of the twine, this way pull, that way pull, square knot, get my hands away before the machine would have taken them off. So that's why I did age 5. By age 9, I drove everything on the farm, both on the farm and on the highway. So the police used to stop the truck going down the road because they couldn't see the head. There was no head in the truck. The truck goes by itself. They open the door and they look at me. Young man, you could not be 16 years old. I know, sir, I am 12. Leave it alone, right? So, by the age of 12 or 13, left in remote fields, I learned how to keep that machinery going. So that was critical. You can take up the piano at 5 or you take it up at 50. There's a huge difference. Now 5 is part of your metabolism. It's part of your soul, it's your blood. You take up the piano at 50, it tends to be mechanical. So think about what you learned when you were a kid. Because that's a native talent that you pull forward and you use it. You're going to use that whatever you do in life. What you learn as a child, you learn in a very special way. So think about the talents that you accrued back then. Now, I never finished school because the bus left me at the barn and picked me up at the barn. I had no books, I had no homework, I had nothing. So I was not progressing in school. So I'm very happy with NASA to have all these educational requirements to be an astronaut. They never asked, do you have a school diploma? Because if I wouldn't be here in Monterrey, if I had to have a school diploma, I had no school diploma. That came later. So I ran off to the Marine Corps and I was an airplane mechanic in the Marines. So I dealt with military airplanes. I took care of all the instruments, I took care of the engines. Very shortly I became a crew chief, a plane captain. I am the one that coordinates all the maintenance and I signed the airplane off as ready for flight. I certified the machine is ready to go to war. Now I had that responsibility at the age of 18 years. So I grew up. I grew up on the farm with machinery then. I was out in nature. I was in the forest at age 3, alone at night. Pine forest cannot hurt you. I built my own raft. I went down the rivers. So I was out there exploring in nature. I had machinery, and then I had the wrinkle. Now that little story is why they asked me to fix the telescope, because I did those kind of things. Yes, I have 7 graduate degrees, but that doesn't fix things. So I'll fix things. Another lifetime, I'm a trauma surgeon fixing broken people. So you see the story. You fix things on a farm, you fix airplanes, you fix people. That's why they shove you up there to fix that thing up there. So that's the way life goes. You connect the dots to your past. And as King Lee and me have been talking about, we just, man, we're in sync. Everything, each one of us, we just, we're on the same page about how you do life. But as we were talking about yesterday, it's one step at a time, kids. The world seems so complex. There's so many alternatives. I go here, I go there, go this. What do I do next? One step at a time. One step. You say, wow, I got a passion for this. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do that. You get here and then you go forward with the next step. So there's a saying, when you come to a fork in the road, you take it. Fork in the road, take it. Leap off.